What's up, friends? We are sitting here in Mendy Pellin's beautiful apartment in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. Voila. Thanks for having us and hosting us today.
It is an honor to have you over. Always nice to see you, Meir.
Likewise, man. It's really great to be here. You're really making my day great.
Oh,
So
well, that's what this
that.
podcast is all about.
That's right. It's the Great Day Podcast.
The
with Meir,
Great Day
okay?
Podcast.
It's a good start. What's a great day look like for Mendy Pellin?
That's a good question. First of all, it's a good coffee. It's all about the coffee. If you have a good coffee, then the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
you're a heavy coffee drinker?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't drink a lot, but in the morning I have to have that coffee.
How do you have your coffee?
Black?
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just straight up.
Yeah.
I think anyone in this business, because the late hours and stuff like that, it slowly got darker and darker until it's just black as you keep going.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, that's pretty interesting to see. Are you still hustling like you used to, like when you just got into this, like back in like Mendy Report days?
No, I can't. I can't do that anymore. I can't physically.
You have physically and also family, or
like with the Mendy Report, I remember once staying up literally 3 nights in a row.
No
At
way.
3 days, nights, just editing.
yeah,
And on the 3rd day, I had a date.
with the wifey.
No, with
Okay.
someone else. And this is before I was married. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We have to clear the air there. And then I was like, you know what? Let me take a 15-minute nap, so that before I go on this date. And it was supposed to be the last date in this series of dating with this girl. And
Why was this going to be the last? Like, you knew
because
going
I
in
knew
this-
like it's over. I just give it one more,
it was like a pity date.
it was a pity date. I think it was a pity date.
Oh.
Yeah, just like I was 99% sure it's over. Gotta make sure for sure.
Okay.
But that 15-minute nap turned into like 18 hours of sleep.
Oh, no.
I woke up like the next day. I didn't know where I was, what
gosh.
happened.
And you totally missed the date.
I totally missed the date.
Wow.
And she was in work in like Long Island. I was supposed to pick her up in Long Island.
Oh, gosh.
So she didn't, she didn't come. She was just, I see a whole bunch of missed calls like, that my last ride's about to
rough.
leave now. Are you coming?
Oh man.
Yeah.
So she
So I had to do 2 more dates to make up for that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay. That's good.
Those are the early days.
Those
you
are
know
the
what I'm
early
saying?
days.
Yeah.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
That's
How's your dating life? Let's talk about your dating life.
My dating life.
Have you stood anyone up yet?
This is who's in the hot seat, man. This is not, I feel like I'm in the hot seat right now.
Oh, we're schmoozing.
Yeah,
no?
we are schmoozing. How's
Yeah.
my dating life? I'm it's non-existent. Actually, I'm not dating. I consciously made that decision recently. Well, it sort of transitioned. There was this part where I told myself, "Oh, I'm too busy to date. I'm career focused," and for the most part, that's really true. I could really relate to like your Mendy Report days of like not sleeping and like just living off. I wasn't drinking coffee back then, but just like the excitement, the adrenaline of creation and like feedback and numbers and all that jazz. Then I transitioned from all that hustle more into like this reflection of like I realized, okay, all this I've been feeding myself and filling myself with creation and goal-oriented ideas and goals. And then once I slowed down on that, I was like, okay, let me feed. I feel a little empty right now. And I realized I couldn't step into a relationship before I dealt with that. So I've been in this phase now where I'm just like working through that, like, well, we're going deep quick, man.
That's amazing.
But it's true though. But I'm spending
Yeah.
a time like figuring that out, and then creating this space, this sanctuary where I'll be able to like invite somebody in, or come across and be in that mindset and healthy enough to be in a relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
If only everybody followed that path, because you can't really have a good, full relationship unless you are in a good relationship with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. So it's been a great experience, like realizing, and shifting from also like from that hustle. I've shifted my way of being when it comes to my goals and my career. And but it's very close. I feel like I'm getting close to where I want to be. It's never going to be perfect, but the understanding of like, okay, I'll be ready now to date. People are always asking, which is very considerate and very nice.
Right.
But yeah,
That is very nice.
yeah.
You feel like at this point you could get anybody you want. and the choice is just overwhelming you.
It's a big pond.
So you're just like, wait a second, hold on. Let me just first check me in, okay? I don't know what I want.
Exactly. And then what's scary is, and what it is that if you don't know what you want, then everybody's telling you what you want, and then that's confusing. So I had to like really pull the brakes. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I do want someone who's loud. No, maybe you're too loud. You want someone who's quiet. I'm like, what do I want actually? So I slowed it all back. I know it's what I really want to figure that out. And once I'm able to have more clarity on that, I feel like be more certain. Like
it's like going into a supermarket just to browse, and then all these salespeople, hey, get this! Like, whoa, 1 second, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing here. The door was open. I just walked in. I don't know.
Exactly. Right. So I mean,
you got to you want to go out, make a shopping list, or else you're going to leave Costco with just
everything, things I don't even need.
You don't need the baggage.
Well, then when you dated, when you entered the dating scene, did you have clarity about who you were?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
You were young? How old are you?
I was 23, 24.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything. So I definitely encourage people because it definitely helps you out within your marriage, within finding the right person to do exactly what you're doing.
Take the time.
Just taking the time to really check yourself. I remember dating, and I told my wife, you know what? I need a week to think about it. Even though I knew like we were going to get married.
Yeah.
Because I had to edit. You know what I'm saying?
You got gigs. You got jobs.
It was just like I was so in the mode of doing, and the dating was just taking up too much of my time.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? I really got to think about our relationship. Let's try no contact for a week. And then boom, I'm catching up on editing.
Wow, that's pretty. So I mean, while you were dating though, and like, how did you, like, how do you make, like, who were you? What kind of person were you then, and how did that transform over the time?
I think I was more on autopilot back then, just going with my gut intuition and feeling and stuff like that, and just unaware of really what was beneath the surface. You know, it took more time before I learned my ingredients.
Yeah, sure.
And then it was like, that's why I keep on doing that stupid behavior or this thing. Like it, and then the only way to really end a cycle that you don't like is to define it.
Right.
You know.
Well, was it hard for you to date? I know a little pivot, but was it hard for you to date as the celebrity that you were? I mean, you were building a brand. People knew who you were. You're getting stopped in the street. I mean, were selfies a big deal back in 2007, 2008?
Selfie, yeah. I was whenever I went out with my wife, people asked for pictures. You know.
Well, so how was it for? I mean, I guess that's a question for her. But like, how was it for her, or how was it for you dating as a celebrity? How did you know Shulamit was, dating you for you and not for your celebrities?
Well, I think she was the first one that like it didn't faze her.
Okay.
You know, a lot of other girls, like the most of the conversation took up.
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend. Most of the conversation took up, like this thing you did and that. How was that? And like they were more of a fan. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, can we talk about something else?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, really? Okay.
Different.
We could talk about something else.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, right. Did she help you discover more about yourself through the dating process?
The dating process, we dated for a really, really short time. So I didn't know. It was like in all like 3 weeks, and then we were engaged for like 4 weeks or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just like,
that's interesting.
And I was in the middle of editing the whole time, so I didn't even. It's like yeah, okay, we'll get married. Okay, I was in the middle of my work.
That's. Were you direct? Did you direct your own wedding video?
I did film a lot of it. Like after the wedding, I took my wife for shawarma on Coney Island.
Yeah.
And so I brought a video, with the wedding gown.
You don't eat at the wedding, right? There's no.
No, you don't. You don't eat at the wedding.
Yeah, you're starving at the end.
Yeah. So it's just like the wedding's over. I'm like, we're hungry. Let's go eat.
Nothing more tastier than a shawarma after a night of dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good. It's good drunk food. It's good post-wedding
and
food.
We got it for free.
Oh, wow. Was it because you were married or because you're Mendy Pellin?
No, we came, like...
In the gown,
and everything, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they served us. They're like, no, chatan kala, sit, leshevet,
Oh, they were Sephardi, so they were into the whole...
Yeah. Like, we got you.
Oh, amazing. So take me back a bit before, we got into like, the whole Mendy Pellin phase of life. Okay. I mean, Denver, Colorado, bit random. I would never assume that. You grew up in a Baal Tshuva, like a religious home, or?
Yeah. My parents were Baal Tshuva, and my mother came in through Shlomo Carlebach. She was playing guitar and whatever.
The whole nine, and the music, and
she was a hippie. And then my father was picked up the Bible one day and just like, this is interesting. Let's take some classes, learn more about it. So like they became religious before I was born, and we had an uncle who was a Rebbe in Colorado, Rabbi Twersky. Shlomo Twersky
is your uncle.
Yeah, so
very cool.
Through marriage, my aunt married him. So we.
I was about to say you look like him a bit. But
No. There's the beard.
It's the beard
and the nose. So so we lived there for a little bit, but then most of my life I grew up here.
Yeah, in Crown Heights.
Yeah.
Wow, and you grew up with like pop culture, and like a lot of your videos have so much references to movies, to films, to pop culture. Is that something that you grew up with, or is that something you just got interested in later on in life? So we got our dosages of that mainly on Sundays. I used to go to my grandmother's house, who was not religious, in Queens. Yeah.
We didn't have a TV,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we got our little dosage of Mr. Rogers and all that other jazz in there.
Was that who was your inspiration, I would say? Who was your inspiration when it came to comedy or to filmmaking? Who'd you look up to in that sense?
Definitely Seinfeld.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, I would say I see a lot of curb within you. A lot of the way the awkward pauses and the way you hold space.
Yeah.
Well, more curb, but yeah, totally. Larry, are you a big Larry David fan?
Oh yeah.
You met him, Larry.
Yeah. I did.
Weren't you working on some sort of comedy documentary?
Yeah, it's still. I mean, we're still working on it, but
okay.
I filmed like an interview like this with Larry for the show, for the pilot, and
you give him a Talis bag.
Yeah. Well, you did your homework. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember you posted about it. I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah. I gave him a Talis bag, and right away he's like, you know what? I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what I need? I need to go tefillin shopping. I need some tefillin. And look at this. You bring me some tefillin. I got to go shoot up on some drugs right now. So I got tefillin. It's perfect. He went on a whole thing when I gave about tefillin. Yeah. But he wouldn't put him on.
No, you tried.
Yeah. He wouldn't.
Just bad. Did he talk to you about that? Like, is this
Chabadniks? Let me just tell for those that are not Chabad that are listening to this, Chabadniks are one-track minded. We try to get friendly. We make believe we're getting friendly with someone, but we're really just trying to get into your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? And we just want to get into those sleeves and wrap up that leather and roll it up and put the filling on you. So I tried to do that with him, and it didn't work.
It would have been a real flex. I mean, we're also all about we go through like our grandmothers. They take out their the photo albums. They show their your cute grandchildren. Like Chabadniks, take out their phones and they're like, who'd you wrap up? Oh, you got Jeremy Piven. Oh, dude, I got Larry David. Oh, what? I got The Rock. He's not Jewish, bro. Those arms. I mean, it's all about it's quantity right there.
Yeah.
So it's but I feel you though.
Have you ever? Yeah. Has anyone ever come over to you and asked you if you're Jewish, you want to put on the film?
Yeah, sure. I was just even recently on Hanukkah time, which I mean, I used to. Yeah, which my mashpia, my mentor in yeshiva, I actually brought up to him one day on Fridays. We would go around doing Messiah. And I came back saying like, oh, this one Jewish guy came over to me. He's like, what? You're Chabad? Like apparently, I guess I wasn't wearing my hat at the time. And in my shpia, he came after me. He's like, "What? Someone doesn't know that you're Chabad. That you don't look Chabad." Like he was very rough on me that I didn't look the part. So in any case, there are times.
How did that feel, by the way?
I felt super guilty.
Were you like?
I was like, I didn't know. Yes,
dude, I'm one of you guys.
Yeah, I'm undercover.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to process that back then, but I now by asking me, I felt guilty. I felt like I did something wrong. How was I supposed to look? And and today, of course, I would say I don't know what I look like. I'm just I identify. I don't know. I definitely as Chabad. I definitely relate to being Chabad. I feel like Chabad transcends I have friends who don't keep Shabbos or eat kosher, and like they still identify being Chabad, and in some ways.
Yeah, for sure. It's about the good deed that you do right now, not about the lifestyle as much.
Totally. And I've been, and what's really I've been blessed with is that I guess people view me as just being as a Jew and an Orthodox Jew. And so I'm able to find myself in many different like spaces within the Jewish world. I mean, I also speak. I'm actually referring to like speaking engagements or even like events. But I've just recently did an event with BBYO, which is more, I would say, more pluralistic, reform, conservative movement. And then I also do a weekend with Orthodox. Sometimes with Chabad or with modern Orthodox, whatever that may look like. So it's really nice. I feel fortunate enough to be able to like connect and relate to all types of Jews and all different types of backgrounds.
Right. I know that you're supposed to be asking me the questions, but
this is great. I love this.
You remember when you had the long hair?
Yeah.
And you asked me, you think I should cut the hair?
Yes, right.
And I answered you and I said, no, keep the hair because
you're one of the few people who actually said that, right? Everybody's been like, what?
I said, because once you cut the hair, then you're gonna go into the box of Chabadnik, and then everyone's gonna have a certain expectation of you, and if you do any little thing that doesn't fit into the expectation, they're gonna be like,
yeah, just look at right.
And so like if you have that, then any little thing good you do, they're gonna be like, look at you, that's very good.
Very good. So that's very, very true. And I definitely have experienced that. I try to keep my haircut still a little, on the fly, the fades and the chup in the front. So, keep it on the line. But there has definitely been a shift. Once you start looking at a certain part, people expect, there's already that expectation right away. And disappointment comes with expectation. But I've worked through that and gotten okay with, how I show up in life and people, how they relate to it as well. Did you come across when you created videos? Are there videos that you sort of are the videos that you created that feedback would come back and you'd be like, ooh, maybe I did cross the line there. Did you second guess yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Many times. But I mean, listen, comedy lives on the border.
Sure.
And you have to be willing to accept that, you know what, I did cross the line there. I'm glad that I got feedback about it, and I'll try not to do that, in the future.
Yeah. I still think we should do the COL live mean comments type of video. Where we just read through like the comments and just...
Yeah. Back in the day when I first started with, before YouTube.
Whoa. What? What world do you talk of?
Yeah, exactly. I feel very old.
Oh, gosh.
I bet on Google Video. So Google Video came out. And then a little bit after Google Video came YouTube. And I was like, come on, Google's going to win the war for YouTube. I'm not even messing with it. And I was uploading everything to YouTube. And then, to Google.
Google, yeah.
And I remember there was like a 10-minute limit, and then they're like, once you reach a certain status, you go to 15, and then more and more. But I remember in those days, you didn't get that many. I got literally hundreds of emails every single episode, every single video I put on. Hundreds of emails of people either venting or
I mean, you were ahead of the curve. I mean, for like. Even me, I mean, you're not that many years older than me, but like you're definitely an inspiration in many ways, going online, seeing the comedy, the videos that you're creating, the content that was out. No one else was doing that, making satire, making fun of the different, movements in Judaism, getting on the street, man the street. Like it was just very, very funny to see that. And I think you're one of like one of the forefathers of when it comes to social media. It's pretty amazing to see that. So back then, back then, who were you like looking up to? Who was inspiring you in that space? Was there like any other back then no one said influencers, but there were other creators that you were feeding off or collaborating with?
There weren't that many collaborations with anybody.
No food bloggers back then?
No. I remember you on YouTube, you type in Jewish, and only one page of results came back, and they were pretty much all my videos.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It dominated the space.
Yeah. It was it was a whole different world back then.
Do you think, what if I kept on doing that? Like, what if I, did more of that social media?
Well, I think
to it.
Yeah, I definitely do think about that. Everything evolves. I got married, had kids, had a mouths to feed, so I had to definitely take on more well-paying gigs and stuff. So I couldn't just, go down that road.
Right.
It was very hard to convince people to. Now it's a lot easier, but it was very hard back then to sell the value of having a product, have a, you know, and the whole influencer thing was, that term wasn't coined yet. So like, you know, I remember I went to this store and you know, like, you want to put an ad, and the most he was willing to pay was like $300, but he wanted a Hollywood style commercial for that also for free for that $300.
Sure. And they also wanted to slap the logo everywhere.
Oh yeah,
and like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah, I feel like people in our community have a hard time understanding subtle advertisement and marketing. So I mean, it goes a long way, and I come across this still today. You know and also what the client expectations are and what the budget is and how you match that up. But even today, I mean, through social media, people are making a living off it. Have you thought about going back to doing those types of videos and creating that content? Or do you feel like you moved out of that style and now you just want to?
I think I got a little burnt out.
Okay.
Yeah. You know how like all these influencers, you see them like, I'm gone for a month, you know, like I'm burnt out. Yeah. Like that happened years ago for me, I think. You know
what was that turning point?
I think it was just the same, you know, putting stuff out, getting that high, you know, getting the feedback, and then getting, you know, clobbered when you try to take a little risk. And it was just like, you know what, it's too many
highs and lows.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't, and also in terms of, I need more stability to pay for all these kids and wives and stuff.
This was before Jewbellish, or was Jewbellish like a second run? Like, hey, I'm going to try to make this more official, and then
Jewbellish was actually I got an investor that he came to me and he's like, hey, build this brand, and then I'll figure out how to monetize. So. You know, I built a brand. It was amazing. I put out content. I built a brand. We got on the cover of the Wall Street Journal. I mean, we really got out there.
Wow.
A picture of me in the stencil thing. It was amazing.
Wow.
But then he just like, I don't know how to monetize this. So after a while, that kind of went belly up there. Yeah. But it was fun while it lasted. You know.
That's, I mean, as freelancers, it's quite scary, isn't it? It's not like knowing where that next paycheck may come, or where, you know, that next idea or that client will come from.
Yeah. It's a very tough business to be in. I mean, for you, it's you know, like there are. I'll be honest with you. I see some projects that you take on, and I'm like, why is he doing that?
Oh,
like why are you taking on that project? I
Ooh,
know
which one? What are you talking
about? I know
about?
you don't want to really be doing that project. You're just making a quick few dollars.
Get specific, man.
But you only have one mouth to feed. Yeah. You could afford to really do what you love right now. Why?
Yo, it's so true.
How do you like how do you decide when you get like oh, here's $10,000 to do this? Yeah. How do you decide? No, I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, man, that's a great question. I've been doing a lot more reflection. So on that issue or those decisions, I would say. So it's thank God I've been very fortunate enough. After like a couple of viral videos went up, people started reaching out. Hey, can you make us this video, that video, this video, that video? And what I didn't want happen happened. What I mean by that is that, you know, I initially started off with like these videos to go out and, showing up as a Jewish person, but universal messages and social media, social experiments and short films that talk to everybody, Jewish, non-Jewish. No, but it doesn't make a difference. You're a human being, you connect with it, it moves you, it touches you, it makes you laugh. And then slowly I did just, you know, doing one, saying yes to this, saying yes to that. I eventually found myself just like making videos for more organizations, more Jewish.
And they're like, we want Meir K for this, but just without Meir K and without that and do this and have this boring thing and do that and do that. Yeah. And then you're like.
And then that sort of burnt me. That sort of that comes together. I wake up a year later because like time just flies. As you know, once you go into like a video project, like weeks become hours, like just bam, bam, bam. And then that becomes your life. You know, what I spend my time on is my life. And so I have been taking more time during this reflection period as well. I was like figuring out, okay, like sort of refining myself because it's been like 2 years now where I feel like I slowly got away from my center. And I'm appreciative of all the jobs and it's been fun. Some, like you said, more exciting than others. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, why did I just do that? And what it is because it's this high. So it feeds a certain part of me, but not really my essence of me. Right. So I said yes to like the hustle, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do through that hustle. Yeah. So it just takes time. I'm learning from it. I'm growing. And I did go through multiple burnt out stages and through those processes, now I'm in a place where I'm like thinking to myself, I also just turned 30 years old. So, it's this time where I'm like saying, okay, what do I really want to do again? What am I passionate about? And it's a bit scary because I'm sort of seeing that it may not be that social media hustle like I used to from my 26 to 30 now. It may be long form style content, documentary, feature film. These are goals that I've always wanted to do, but I've been pushing off because of that. Putting out 3 videos a day because that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
And it served its purpose. So, yeah, so it's just learning and growing, and now it's like taking time to I started I stepped into the nonprofit space now, working on Super Soul Party, which has been really great.
So here's my theory about this Super Soul Party.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you have an idea.
Go gentle on me, man.
Okay,
go gentle.
You have this idea. What would be a heartwarming video for like let's give some coats to homeless and let's invite homeless to watch the Super Bowl. Make a great video. But then something happened to you when you were actually doing it, where you actually like felt like, wow, like you felt something.
Sure, totally.
And then it turned from like, let's make a good video to like, this is an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Totally. I mean, yes, and no. What I mean is like, yes, the idea was to do something inspirational, and I was in this mode of creating content that moves and inspires people. Once I wanted my videos to like make leaders out of like leaders of leaders. Go out and do something yourself. And it's sort of easy enough, the idea.
Right.
And so I did that, and something did move me and touch me. But then when the following year came about, I was thinking about doing it, but it was like getting close to it. I wasn't really taking any real action. And then other people reach out to me and say, hey, Meir, what's going on with the Super Bowl this year? Like, we want to get involved. And that sort of inspired me to see like, wow, people want to get involved. It does have legs. The video went viral. Famous people, celebrities were posting about it. The news covered it. So that sort of gave me the confidence. I was like, hey, okay, there's something here to do. And then, but let's just say I did not imagine myself starting my own nonprofit. No. And it's pretty cool. So right now I'm allowing the process to go. I'm not trying to control. I used to try to control my destiny. Like by now I would want this, and this is what I see myself by 29 or 30, and so on and so forth. And with that comes disappointment, because if you don't reach those goals, bam, it just throws you off.
And you're the hardest on yourself.
Yeah. Hardest critic is self, totally. Mm-hmm. And so,
and how many states are you doing this in?
We're doing it 20 this year. 20 cities for 2020.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was a goal. Yeah, huge. It was it's a huge accomplishment. Not volunteers, everybody stepping in. People who are Jewish, people who aren't. The idea is to really just step in and help and create a space where people could just feel dignity again.
How do you get the right homeless people? Because there's some homeless people that are like a lot of homelessness is due to mental disabilities.
Mental health
and if you bring the wrong person, it could be dangerous. You know? So what do you do to like filter out?
Yeah, and for a while, the world's going to try to shut you down, no matter what you try to do. And so when I was sharing this idea to earlier on with some donors and just people who I was thinking about, they said, "What are you doing?" Most of the people have mental issues and they're on drugs and addicts, and it's like, and it slowed me down. I was like, "Oh man, like what's the point?" But the fact is that there are many, many people who aren't going through that, who are just, bad choices in life. And let's be honest, many of us have our own mental health issues. I think a lot of us are scared of our what we see in people who are experiencing homelessness, and it mirrors us. Yeah. So we're afraid to engage with that aspect, and so we just sort of shut off and say, "Oh, label, these are people that I don't want to deal with," and so on and so forth. So, yes, there are those issues. However, right now we're dealing with people who are in shelters. So there's already that. Okay. So we are inviting people from the shelters, as well as we do have elements of people able to go online and download tickets and invite people off the street. But of course, within that, there's their own discretion, their own common sense. If someone's on the street who's able to engage, who's sober, who can have a conversation, then we invite them to that. And also the parties do have security as well. So we do take certain steps to like make sure that it's a safe environment for everybody, and then eventually, yes, we'll move down once we grow and have the right proper officials and proper educators in our community, in our organization. We will tackle the mental health aspect as well. And some parties do have therapists and so on. So we're doing the best that we can, that I can, and we're not allowing the no's and naysayers. It's not perfect,
right?
We're showing up.
Kudos, brother.
Yeah,
kudos. That's
yeah.
That is really amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So winding it back, actually, I have to say one thing. What I love about you is before I was maybe earlier starting out. I remember I was in LA and I reached out to you.
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah.
Very
sure,
cool.
Sure.
And I was just very humbled by you saying yes to my question of like, hey, can I come by and like just talk to you about, video and like what's it like, in the space in LA, and you jumped on it right away. I was very touched by that, and we sat down and we talked, and it was cool. And I think you were rocking your kippah, which you're wearing now, which I forgot what you call it. What do you call it?
The half off.
The half off.
Yeah, because you could do a half off.
And choose like things half off.
Exactly.
I love it. And you're able to, and different colors. Did that
mix and match,
kippah ever take off? Or?
No. People were like, "Wow, that's awesome." I would never wear it or buy it, but it's awesome. Very cute.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. It is awesome, but yeah, and it's just never. It's just amazing.
Try to mix it up, because I definitely think within Judaism, like you should have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? And so like I was just thinking of a way to
spice it up.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I loved it, but I mean, the reason I brought it up is because I was really impressed by your humbleness and your givingness of yourself to like sit down with me and talk shop and do that. And you gave that LA thing, the whole LA chapter, you gave it your heart and soul. All right. When you had to move back to New York, what was that like for you?
Well, first of all, when I in your early days, in the subway thing, the hi-fi, like these different videos, I got friends and people were coming over to me and like you're much better than Meir K. Don't worry about it. Meir K. People were just saying that, and I was like, why?
What's funny?
Why are we comparing? What's going on?
It's funny.
Here?
People will say that about me, about you,
right?
As well. Like they're like, "Oh, Mendy Pellin. You saw a video of Mendy Pellin. Like there's so much trash." People.
Why do people feel the need? Yeah. And why do people look at it as like a competition? When I saw you, I was like, "This is amazing. There's not many of us."
And I'm admitting to her that you're an inspiration to me when it came to video creation. Yeah, there's people try to pin something to talk, something to gossip about.
Yeah, you have a beard and I have a beard and we're from the same neighborhood, and we're doing video stuff. Sure. So it's a No, not at all. Anytime I see a talented person doing something, with their talent, it's like, welcome to the club. This is amazing. We need more people.
Right.
People are scared to let their creativeness out and show it to the world. It's a very scary thing.
With creativity comes a lot of vulnerability.
Yeah.
You got to like show of yourself. You got to have an opinion about something, and with that comes people will disagree with you, and people will express that. So it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard to be in that, like, to be seen. Yeah. Did you have trouble with that earlier on, being seen? Showing up in this space, and I know we touched on it a bit about being criticized through comments, but did you have any type of support from friends or family that were like, "Hey, you got this, you're doing okay"?
Well, actually, at the beginning, my friend created the anti-Pellin blog.
Oh,
yeah.
So owned the monopoly of
anything that I put out, he dissected it and tore it apart.
Your friend?
My friend. And I asked him to do this because I figured it's a great way to get out there. Is just have people trash talk you. So and then I would comment, I would comment, let's say on Facebook, I'd be like, can you believe this guy? And then post a link, to the blog. And then you have a bunch of people like defending me. So
that's great. So you own both spaces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very smart. That's smart marketing right there.
And listen, you got to fake it till you make it. And I faked the bad comment. I even went on, it was before COL, the Crown Info or whatever. I went on Crown Info and I would give myself horrible comments,
Wow. And angry local Crown Heightser says,
different
titles.
And I remember like Ben from Crown Info calling me up like, Mendy, you're getting some bad comments. Do you want me to let them go or should I hold them back? I'm like, let them go. And then you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Eventually, I got naturally really bad comments. And I was like, wait, I didn't post that one. Someone like took their time to write this whole trash talk against me. That's amazing. Wow.
You took it really, you translated it in that way?
My first real vile hate email, I printed out and I put on my wall.
Oof.
You know,
What did that do for you?
it was like, you know, I kind of feel like you don't really make something of impact unless it hits people both ways, you know? And and so like someone actually took me serious enough to take their time to write a whole long email.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
You had an
Me?
effect on something, right?
You're writing an email. You're
Such
taking the
power
time
that
out
you
of your
have.
day to really?
Yeah.
But no, listen, it depends on what kind of the comment is. There was definitely some things that just hit me like it really hurt. Some things really hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like if they, you know, pushed it, you know, said something that was, you know, about the humor or something that was like, you know, personal.
Well,
but generally, if it was outrageous, I was like, wow.
It's comedic,
Yeah,
actually. It's really like, guess what this guy said?
Yeah.
Where is a soft spot within you that if someone says something, it would hit you? Like, what's that personal spot look like?
If they like go down, you know, like personally, and well, first of all, if they make fun of the comedy, you know, like if they're like, you know, this was totally not funny at all, and they say why, and they make like a logical argument, and I was like, oh man, you know. But if they say like, you know, this was inappropriate, you know, then it's like, okay, all right.
Have you ever taken down something because you realize, oh, maybe that I did cross the line there? Was there any time where you thought it through and said,
There were some times that I took stuff down. Yeah.
do you want to say it here?
What I took down?
Yeah. This is Jewish Howard Stern right here. Not like Howard Stern Jewish. You know?
No, like my old Rosh Yeshiva, his kids kept on calling me because I took a video of him saying the schnozzle stops here. Somehow I got him to say it, and he was like, "The schnozzle stops here. What does that mean?" That's funny. And they were calling me up to like, my dad doesn't know what it means, you know, like they were like, and they were really getting
Bothered
personal, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll take it down.
Yeah.
That's yeah. There've been stuff like that where I realized that I think if it hurts somebody else, you know, then and it really hurts them personally,
Sure.
I'll take it down. But if they think, you know, like it's offensive to somebody else, so they're offended on behalf of somebody, you know, then like, okay, let that other person send me a message, okay?
Yeah, right. And you touched on something that I wanted to segue into, which was the schnozzle.
Yeah.
The schnozzle. I've used the schnozzle so many times.
Oh, I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
it's fantastic. I want to hear the genesis of the schnozzle. What's it mean? And if you would even want to motion and actually perform it. If you like, for those who are watching on a video.
For the children watching, we cannot perform it.
Absolutely.
But hold on. Hey, my wife.
Yeah, Mendy's wife just rolled right in mid podcast.
Yes.
You want to jump on?
No. Okay.
All right. Okay.
So where were we?
The schnozzle.
Oh, the schnozzle.
Well, you
okay.
segued right into the schnozzle. I wanted to know the genesis.
No, it's just
and all.
Between my friends and I, it was like one of those words that you could just use for anything. It really goes anywhere. Like, oh, schnozzle, or like, let me get some of the schnozzle. You know, like just it was a good alternative word to use, and we're just using it.
I always thought the schnozzle was the performance of one grabbing the chin or the bottom of one's beard.
Oh, that's the schnozzle.
The schnozzle. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
The schnozzle is just a word. I had a phrase that I ended the show with. The schnozzle stops here. And
sort of like the spin stops there or whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
That's where I got it from.
Okay.
And but the schnozzle is because I was doing an interview with a guy once. It was a night activity. When I was a night activity director in Detroit.
Okay.
In Ganyasrol, Detroit.
Oh.
And I was doing this interview with this guy that was just really, he was annoying me a lot.
Okay.
So I just came up with it on stage to give him the schnozzle, just so that the kids would see that. And for the rest of the summer, every kid was going over to him, like trying to give him the schnozzle. He's like one of those guys that had his buttons written on his forehead.
Okay, right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I knew it was just going to hit him the wrong way. And then it just stuck. The schnozzle became like this big thing. There, it goes like that. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. That's a stop.
Yeah.
All right. So for those... For those who are not watching it on YouTube or Facebook,
I applied my fingers under your well-groomed beard and tickled it.
Indeed, and it felt amazing. Have you trademarked these words?
Because no one else wants to really make money off of it. So
that's amazing. And talking about night activity, we both actually shared the title, the auspicious title of Sumachechi in Yeka.
Yes, it's a club.
Oh my gosh,
we're part of this elite club.
Oh, fantastic! For those who do not know what Yeka is a camp out in the Ukraine, which is an overnight camp for children who are in orphanages.
Yeah.
And it's a Jewish camp, and it's for, how long was it? For a month? It's a month?
Yeah, about a month.
Oh my gosh, wow. It's pretty crazy. It's a wild house.
It's an incredible experience, yeah.
It was an incredible experience. And
these kids are like totally, nothing like the American kids.
Oh no.
Remember, we had one kid, we woke up in the morning, and he was just missing. He was gone. This like 6 or 7 year old kid was just gone.
Yeah.
And so we're looking through the whole entire camp. We cannot find him. And then after an hour, somebody had let's go drive an hour to the city. So I don't know why he thought that. He went to the city and he found this kid.
Where?
By the train station.
What?
He couldn't get on because he didn't have money. But he's trying to take a train 7 hours to go back to his father.
Oh man! Wow, that's insane.
And we looked in his bag, and he had been taking a little bit of lunch every day for about a week.
Wow, this guy's watched Shawshank Redemption too many times or something.
He planned this getaway for a week. So we called up the father, and we're like, "Hey, listen, guy, this is a liability for us. We can't, you got to come pick up your kid." You know what I'm saying? And the guy's like, "Okay." So he took a train, and the father was probably like 60. He was an old guy.
Yeah.
And he asked if there was a place for him to stay that night. And we said, you could stay in the bunk with your kid.
Yep.
So you have all these 7-year-olds and this old guy, sleeping in the bunk. And I don't know if we was lost in translation, but he just joined that bunk for the rest of the summer.
Who, the dad?
The dad. The next 3 weeks. He was just like in line up in the morning. He was standing straight in back of the line. He loved it. He had free meals. He didn't want to leave the place.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Another extra staff member on board.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. That's incredible. Did you have this is some inside information from one of your previous campers, but did you have her line up that long? You had like this long stick?
Oh, the Altamira Sashamaka lineup stick.
What?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah. We won bunk competition because we were the straightest line. I had this big stick. We all colored it. I put it down on the floor, and the kids went, put their feet against it, and then we removed the stick. And then every day when the head counselor came, they're like, wow, you guys are very straight.
Mendy, seriously, like, do you feel like, I mean, you're so creative, right? I mean, you're so creative. Do you feel like, in a way, you haven't gotten the recognition that you deserve?
Well, I honestly don't, do the creative stuff in order to get recognition for it. It's like I need an outlet for it just to feel good about myself. But in all honesty, it's not about recognition at all. So
wow. So and you figured, hey, I love doing this. Let me try to make this into a place where I can actually create money from this and sustain myself.
Yeah. I said before I work, bagging groceries at the supermarket. Let me try this. Let me see if what I enjoy will pay the bills. And so far, it's working.
Yeah.
Do
you feel like you've peaked already? Have you peaked?
No, definitely not. I'm still figuring things out like you are.
I've got it all figured out now.
I'm still exploring. I'm still trying to figure out. And the environment is changing so quickly every single day. So
does that scare you?
No. It brings up more challenges. You try to figure out what's going to be next and try to.
So you're saying you're on TikTok?
No, no, I refuse TikTok. Yeah.
What? The kids, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I never got it. Are you on TikTok?
I actually am on TikTok. I'm not posting as often as I
Dude, you got
would be on.
I wish I had your energy. You got like so much energy.
I've got yes.
I don't have that kind of energy.
What do you think?
I can't be. I maxed out my social platforms. I can't do another one.
Yeah. Oh no. I'll be honest with you. I've come to a point where I'm like another one. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And I'm a single guy. I mean, you also have like the wife going on, and you got the kids. How many kids?
Four kids.
4 kids.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's it's incredible.
Is it? You're saying it like you know from experience.
Blink twice if you want me to save you. As the
No,
wife,
it is. No, it is amazing. It really is amazing. There's nothing.
Say it 3 more times. I'll believe you.
There's nothing better. Let me tell you something. There's nothing better. And I'm not one of those people trying to like push this kind of lifestyle or anything. There's nothing better than like sharing an authentic laugh with your kid. It's just amazing.
Aw.
Yeah. They're the best audience. If you're able to get them to laugh, it's like
Because they're honest, right?
good.
They're honest.
Yeah.
They're real. Are you the Mendy Pellin that we know from online? Are you like that at home? Is it consistent? How is that?
It's very tricky because if I go too far in the sumashechi craziness, then my kids will take it to the next level, and then I won't be able to put them to bed. So
Right.
it's like I have to learn to like put on the role of like, let's go. I have 5 jokes that I could tell you right now that would be amazing that I really want to say, but I'm going to control myself because or else you're going to go to bed at midnight. So it takes a lot of self-control.
Yeah. And how is that relationship like work with the wife? Is that how do you show up in that in that arena? Are you always making jokes? Are you always cracking one-liner here and there?
Thank God she has a different kind of sense of humor.
Okay.
She like laughs when the fat person falls down. You know what I'm saying? Like that, those kinds of humor. So it's I test out material a lot, like at the Shabbos table, whatever, and sometimes I'll get the look like that, not now.
Right. So hence why you didn't marry a fan. I just always would be like, all right, man.
You need someone to keep your feet on the ground.
That's true.
So
I mean, right. And how is it?
I have some questions from people on Instagram for you. I know, like you're supposed to ask me questions. I put out there.
Well, okay. Well, before you jump to your questions that you put on Instagram, because I also posted about I have questions from my peeps about you.
You're about to say fans, and you didn't want to say fans.
Very good.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dissect that. Yeah, because you know what? Yeah, I have. It's weird.
Is it weird?
Yeah,
it is weird.
I like to use the word
who do you think you are to have fans?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it comes from a place of that. I like to use the word community or family or friends.
Right.
Yeah, it is strange. When
it is true. It like when I was getting hundreds of emails, I made sure to like respond to each one of them. Someone was like, "Oh, what do you mean they're fans? They don't expect you." And I'm like, no, the people that like took their time out.
People, right?
They took their time out to write me. I got to write back to them. And I remember I got my first like big production job in LA, and the head writer, who a lot of people didn't get along with, right away he was a big fan of mine, if you want to say, because a years back his daughter emailed me, and I responded with a full length response, and he was blown away by that.
Wow.
So like he had this respect for me. Like you never know. Yeah. I didn't do it for that, but I'm just saying like
you never know. Okay, right. You showed up as a human being.
It is very important to I like that. But you could call them fans because they don't really know you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good definition to a fan is someone that doesn't know you.
It's okay, fair enough. Right.
Although I think a fan is someone that doesn't know you. Let me continue. If they don't know you and they root for you and they laugh at you and then they boo you when you do something that they don't agree with or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's a fan. A community is someone that like, oh, okay, I see he's going down that road. It's not working out, but I'm going to root him on and we'll go through this journey. That's more of a community.
That's really that's a really great definition. Do you feel like you've built yourself a community? Is that something that you're striving for or building on? Or
I definitely have you
have your fan.
I have
community from.
I have people that I get feedback from, and I respect a lot. And then some people that like I know that they're just blowing off steam and whatever, you know.
Well, before we jump into the questions, I did ask you earlier on about that transition from LA to New York.
And we got a sound effect for New York
There you
as
go.
we talk
On
about
cue.
it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Hatzalah. Showman, we're good?
Well, first of all, when I came back, I realized that the police now have sirens that have bass to it now. When I went to LA, it was just like, now it's like,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like you feel it when their siren goes off.
Oh, absolutely. We're also deep in the hood right now. So, like, but I think it's more of a cultural thing, There's just feeling with the vibe.
And there's a lot of bass.
A lot of bass. Yeah.
In this community.
I feel like you're also avoiding the question for a while.
I am.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, I went to LA because there's a lot of creative outlets over there, and I was hoping to break the ice. And family and friends, I invited them over to. I was hoping that they would also move there and create like another thing, an alternative to the hood in Brooklyn,
Carnites area.
And yeah, no one followed at all.
You're just out there alone.
Yeah, no one. So after 8-9 years,
wow. And what were your goals? What were your goals there? To be a screenwriter, to be a stand-up comic, all of the above.
Yeah, that was yeah, I mean, it was just to be in production, whether it's behind the camera, in front of the camera. I just love the creativity wherever it was, and I definitely had a lot of fun working with a lot of celebrities and doing a lot of things. But at a certain point, but at a certain point, my kids, before they get too old, I didn't want them to miss out on growing up with cousins and family and whatever. So made the hard decision to move back here, but there's so much creativity in New York. It's when I was in LA, I found myself flying off to New York because a lot of projects are here.
Sure.
So there's a lot going on here.
Do you feel that in a certain way you failed yourself for moving back to New York?
No, I didn't. It's just part of the journey.
Cool. Yeah. I'm just projecting because for me that's a big fear of mine because I have thoughts, and for me I think like people want to move to New York, to the big city. Like I've always had this idea of moving to LA.
Right, you told me.
Yeah, and I told you this years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so I still have yet to do it.
And what I told you was that a lot of people just go to LA because like, oh, the movies, whatever. Yeah, unless you like have a specific plan in mind, you're just gonna get lost with the rest of these people that are just, I was once a walk-on on this show, but I'm working on this screenplay that, that this person is interested in. If that person signs up, and then I have to go back to my box to go back to sleep.
Right.
There's a lot
of flexing. It's a lot of like, oh, I know this person, that person. True. I hear, right, totally. But I think also there's a lot of fear there, and it's also I have this fear of like if I don't make it back there, then I have to come back. Like I come back to New York, it's like, oh, you didn't do it. But of course, that's not, it's not true, right?
Right, I mean, and also New York, New York, LA.
Bi-coastal, sure.
Yeah, it's really that there's so many productions going on in New York, and a lot of films moved out of LA.
Yeah, I mean, totally, absolutely. But there's still, I feel like there's still like this pull, like, even from like the inner child is like, LA. It's,
I hear you.
We'll see.
You can let it out of your system for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Yeah, I'm still young.
You are young. You are young. Don't beat yourself up.
Oh,
I remember when my 19th birthday, I remember I couldn't get out of bed. I was so depressed. 19th because I felt like a failure. I'm like, what did I accomplish?
Oh gosh.
I was like so serious. Like I'm 19 already, and look at me now. What do I have to show for it?
Were you just coming out of like high school? Or
I was like in yeshiva in Sfat, Israel, and I was like,
what's the point?
Like, I don't even know what direction I'm going in. I don't know what I want to do, and it's already over. I'm 19.
I'm already an old man. Heck, man. I mean, 3 years later, getting married, but you're doing very well, pretty well for yourself. But every comedian, as we all know, has like this, this more serious and like, I would say serious and deep side to them. Where do you stem from? Where's that stem from, your comedy? What are you trying to?
I don't know if anyone wants to hear that stuff.
But that's the beautiful thing about the podcast, right? I mean, I think it's a perfect place for that. I'm curious to know.
Right. Well, listen, I grew up, had a rough life, and I think that comedy was a a definite way to cope with a lot of stuff. And but even before it got really tough, I was always the class clown. I just enjoyed if I saw like an opportunity for a joke, I just
jumped on it.
I jumped on it.
But usually the class clown shows up as a class clown because of what's going on
right
in their life out of school.
Yeah. Well, it definitely. My father died when I was young.
Oh.
When I was a kid, I was 10.
Okay.
And
was it an illness?
and he it was a sudden stroke, and and some other different challenges. But
you want to go there?
Between comedy and between having the attitude of like, solution, not focusing on the problem. That was like that is how I'm wired. Yeah. I'm always like, okay, what's the solution? We got this problem. Okay. How do we figure it out? My earliest childhood memory. Yeah. I think it was like I was probably like 3 years old, maybe even 2.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wild.
And I remember and we had just moved to Crown Heights, and I remember like we're in the car on the way back from Toys R Us, and I remember my parents telling me like, you got to be very careful. There's a lot of bad people in this area, so you got to be very careful not to talk to anyone, run away from anyone. If anyone picks you up, bite them. Like that was the instructions I got. Bite them. That was my instructions.
I don't know.
Just bite them as hard as you could.
Don't let go.
Yeah. So these were my tools that I had. So we pull up to the house, and I slowly see all of my family just leaving and going to the house, and I'm in my car seat.
Wow.
And they just go into the house, and it's nighttime.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And
abandonment 101 right there.
And I'm like, hello? Hello?
Right. What about, I'm here.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So I remember like right away, I just, got into the attitude of like, I don't want to yell because I see some, people playing basketball over there. I don't want to get attention. I got to figure out a way out of here.
You start biting at the seatbelt? Like
it took me a long time, but I got out of that car seat. I remember it like clear as day because I guess it was so traumatic. I got out of that car seat, and then I go to open the door, and to open the lock, it didn't have the plastic piece on the lock. Oh, it was just like the screw. There was no screw. You needed like a really strong. It was just a screw. It was like an old car.
Oh man,
and
it's a horror story.
So I couldn't open. I'm like trying to open a thing, and then I think back then you had to roll down the window. So then I rolled down the window, and I remember looking down, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so far down. There's no way I could get down. And then I'm like looking around, I see the seatbelt, and I use that to like lower myself out of the car.
This is a short film right here.
I use that to lower myself out, and then I ran for my life back to my house. And I remember my father was like just beyond amazed. He like took me back outside, and I remember like his reaction of just like in shock, like he sees the seatbelt out of the car with the window open. But it was like a kind of attitude of like, if you get you get in a situation, just there's a solution to everything, and just try to find the solution. That's how I've been wired, ever since.
Do that. Wow.
So either laugh it off or figure out a solution.
Wow, that's incredible. So someone who is going through a challenging time now.
Yeah.
I mean, those would be the two pieces of advice.
Well, I mean, also that if you cannot find a solution, it means that your head is right now not in a place that you can find a solution. And just wait till you will get into a place. The solution will come. Don't have despair, and just do your thing.
Fair enough.
That's my words of wisdom.
I got chills. Those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys questions for me?
Oh yeah, I do. You want me to ask you questions?
Well, a couple. I'm going to pull up mine from the gram as well, and we could go for one for a bit.
So let's see. Someone said they have offering a 10% discount on cosmetology services.
I got that too.
Ashley Blaker wants to know how much money you make.
Oh, he asked me that about you. He asked. That's very funny. Ashley Baker. Yeah,
well,
that's great. Ashley,
he's a funny guy.
How much do I make? Not enough, but it's great. I'm a full on creative person. Also, I've been telling myself, the things I tell me, the belief systems I've created for myself is I told myself, I'm creative, so I'm not a business person. Like, oh, what do I do? Like, I freeze up when people ask me like rates, and I've gotten better at it. And I've also had fortunate enough to like had and have a manager to help me work on that aspect when it comes to it. So I like to hand that off.
Right.
And focus on what I'm good at. That being said, I've gotten better at dealing with those kind of questions. And understanding, I think, comes out to also one's self-worth. Like understanding, like, hey, what I'm bringing to the table, and just seeing myself as a value, and just being comfortable in that, and not second guess myself.
And I really hope at your stage of life you're not making too much money, because you're taking on and doing stuff that builds the future and that you like. You know what I'm saying? While you have one mouth to feed, you're focused on doing stuff for you, to build you up, to do things for you, and you're shutting other doors.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, more now than before. Yeah, for sure. There was a period where I wasn't doing that.
Right.
But that led me to a space now where I'm like, okay, whoa, wait a second. This is such a great opportunity. Let me take time to feed myself and pursue creative pursuits that I perhaps won't have the ability to do when I have those responsibilities. Yeah. So absolutely.
Someone asked, when is the next collab? Our last collaboration, we did some sketches together, put on robes. We did like weird stuff. And I got to tell, people don't realize you are a good actor. You're a good actor.
You have to tell people? They can't tell us through the videos.
I'm saying, you see, like this is Meir K. Like with energy. Buddy. It's like you got the energy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just in terms of getting into character and putting, like, I was very, very impressed.
Thanks.
Of like getting into character and like authentically just acting.
Yeah. I appreciate that coming from a producer, director, and actor yourself. Talent sees talent. I see that. I see
you, brother.
I see you too. Why? Someone asked. Okay.
We could bring them.
The kids are coming. The kids are arriving. Oh, you're incredible. Okay,
we're
going.
It's good. We could bring them in.
We can.
We could talk to them.
I can send them upstairs.
Yeah. Okay. We could wrap up in 5 minutes. Yeah. Sure. Yeah,
you walk through.
Yeah, totally. Life's happening. We can't.
It's fine.
You've been so generous with your time.
We are in my house, and
this has happened. The kids are coming home from school.
Yeah.
Life happens.
And
Life is happening.
That's what happens when you film in the house.
That's it. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
So for those who are listening, Mendy Pellin's kids will be arriving home from school in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, they are of the louder bunch.
They are one. So before as to start wrapping this up and to give some credit to the Instagram questions, one person asked, "Why did you stop performing stand up?"
I was just working on, with stand up, you really got to do it. In order to be good, you got to do it every single night or a couple times a week, many shows to really sharpen and stay fresh. Mm-hmm. And what I found myself doing is just these big, well-paying gigs to do stand-up, and I was rusty, and I just didn't want to have that, just give people a product that is not of great quality when I know it could be a lot better. So I just put that on pause until I'm in a space. If I ever get to a space, very hard, with a whole family, it's a tough life to be a comic, So I'm more in focus on production now and writing.
Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. And another question is, are you still boys? Are you still close with Matis Yao? A lot of your older videos with Matis Yao. I love the one with the Breslov books. Great reveal, great sketch, just building up with this awesome stuff.
Yeah, just for people that haven't seen it, it's basically I'm sitting and eating in a restaurant, and then one of these Breslov guys hands me a book after I say, like, I need more meaning in my life, and then he hands me a book like that says more meaning in your life, and I was like, hey, could you pass the salt? And it was like, add salt to your life. Like, he was giving me a book based on everything I said, and basically. It was revealed It was Matisyahu because back in the day, everyone was calling Matisyahu Breslov.
Right.
It was like he went from that stage of Chabad to Breslov. And hey, Isaac.
And that's it. The kids are home.
Here, it's fine. We could continue. You don't mind a little noise?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Here, Isaac, come.
Wow.
Here, watch out. Just hold on.
It's everywhere. They're coming from everywhere.
Hold on to the
front
stick
door,
for a second.
upstairs. Amazing.
Here, let him in. You can sit on my
Everybody, what's
lap.
going on?
Yeah, okay.
Abba's on a
watch out.
podcast.
Go.
Watch out. Here we go. This is Sheva over here. Isaac, Hinda's friend.
Hey, everybody.
Whoop.
I'm Meir K.
And then Yosef's not here. He's still in school.
Okay, nice.
So,
wow.
Isaac, how you doing, buddy? You want to sing a song? The good morning train is coming. How are you?
Choo choo.
The good morning train is coming. How are you?
Choo choo.
And we say hello to Isaac.
Hey, Isaac. Yeah, it takes a few minutes for the kids to warm up. It gets really awkward when parents say, "Oh my God, my kids are a big fan." And they start schlepping them away from, let's say, the
my
magician,
gosh, yeah.
and they bring them in front, and the kids just start crying or run away or they're super awkward. I'm like,
Yeah. You know the parents are the big fans, and
Right.
they're using their kids so that they don't look like idiots.
right.
That's usually the case.
Sometimes like a lot of moms come to town. I get stopped all the time to take selfies.
Oh yeah,
I'm
they're
"Oh,
like, for my
are
kids,
fans."
I got to send the picture to my kids. Right.
And I'm like, sure. And then I meet the kids. I'm like, oh, my parents are a big fan. I want to take a picture with you. I'm like, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
no one is the
Right. No one wants to say, hey, I like your stuff.
yeah,
You know,
no one wants to say
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, so for the young, or for the old, or for the kids at heart, for the creators out there who want to step into this space of creative pursuits.
yeah. We're filming right now.
Yeah, we are. We're
Yeah,
literally
shh.
filming right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the kids at home, kids at heart who are getting to the creative space, what tips, what kind of advice, what kind of wisdom would you share from your experience of what to do, what not to do, and how to show up?
I think the main thing is don't wait for anybody to define you. You define yourself and just go for it. And you could constantly change the definition of yourself. And you just got to make it. This day and age, you can really, if you want to put in the hard work, you can make it yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody.
Right.
And so just let out your creativity. Let it go.
Yeah. Don't
And
wait for
also speak to someone, like if there's someone that you can tell that is where you want to be. Say, hey, let's have a drink. Can we have a drink? I think most people that are comfortable with themselves that have made it to where you want to go, they'd love to give you some tips on how not to make mistakes, along the road. So,
Right. There you go.
boom.
Bam. On
Bam.
that note, half the kids left.
Hey, Sheva, you wanna answer a question? Yeah? No? You sure?
Chev, you want to get some? You want to say hi to
Here,
everybody?
come. You want to sit on my lap? No.
That'll take a
What
minute.
what video is he on? We were just listening this morning.
Yeah.
The Benny Friedman.
Are you a fan? Have you seen any of my videos, Chevy? The Macha Bracha, Ivernochi?
Sheva. Oh, that's right. Macha Bracha was a big hit in this house for a while.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah. Until
Yeah.
everyone got so sick of it because they played it so many times.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
you pouring invisible water onto your hands.
There,
you know what I'm saying?
okay. Wow. Yeah, right. Where's the water? I mean, now in hindsight, that was a creative approach we wanted to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
totally.
I really.
We'll do it in post.
I appreciated that video. That was good. That was good.
Thanks. That was actually one of the most. That was a very exciting video. I think it was one of my more professional videos.
Right.
But also the most expensive videos to produce.
It had a fun vibe to it and
Yeah.
also professional look. It was.
Thank
It
you.
had the
Yeah.
combination of the two.
For the community that was serving, though, people don't really appreciate that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to watch like horrible, poorly produced videos and you see like tons of comments like, wow, amazing.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Hollywood. And I'm like, really? Like I spent so much time on the other thing.
Totally.
Like you're giving that.
That's the one that got them going.
Yeah. But I think by the way, I think these days it's people have been are so immune to seeing just crazy visual effects that it doesn't phase them. So like these days, it's all about the script, the writing, the content. It's all about the
story.
content.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, like
Where do you see Jewish entertainment going?
That's a good question. I think we're gonna see like a Netflix kind of someone build a pay-per play,
Yeah.
like a flat rate where you just get content.
I
kosher
thought about it
content,
for a while
know.
myself to create that. I'm sure you've come. I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I know many people have.
It's
Why
a
do you
huge
think,
job.
Why?
You know?
Like, what is it? Like, why do you think that hasn't been developed yet? The Jewish Netflix.
Well, I think the market is limited.
Yeah.
So it's very risky. You need to have someone that has deep pockets to fund it, to get it started.
Yeah.
You know, that's you need a bunch of producers working on simultaneously on a lot of projects together. To
And it has also to be good
make
enough,
it
I guess,
happen.
to it because then you're competing with Netflix and Amazon.
And also people are trained to get things for free. So people
Right.
don't want to have to pay for stuff. They don't realize how much goes into production.
Right. That's
So it's kind of retraining their, by the way, that noise that you hear in the background, that's my Isaac right here.
Yeah, Isaac's sitting on
he's
Mendy's lap.
He's a little congested. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I love this kid. Sheva.
Sheva, what's
Do you know that Sheva called me today, and she on the phone? She's like, "Abba, hang on, I want to get closer to the phone. Get closer to the phone. I'm gonna give you a kiss."
Aw.
And she goes, "Mwah." Yeah.
Wow. Sheva, what's your favorite video from Daddy, from Abba?
You want to say it to the microphone?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Do you wanna make videos when you grow up?
I've made videos with her.
Yeah?
She's very good at giving like tutorials on LOL dolls and Hatchimals. Huh? Yeah. And she even gave me like when I was filming, she like told me what poses to go like this. She gave me ideas.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
She really.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
this is
What can you do with this?
coffee.
What pose can you do with all this? What would work for this? It's hard to work with, I know.
Yeah.
All right, the Jon Stewart with the beard. It is. I think it's coming to that time. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Mayor K, I just want to tell you that
What's that, Isaac?
this is there's not much coffee left of this. Yeah.
That's like a
Not much going on there.
That's adult Gerber baby.
He loves coffee.
Yeah, really?
I mean, he loves sitting
idea
on
of
my
coffee.
lap while I drink coffee. Like if he sees me drinking coffee, he
The
has.
fumes of the caffeine.
He's a
get him
secondhand coffee drinker. Like he must be sitting on my lap to have the coffee.
That's
So
fun. That's great.
he's a good coffee partner.
Mendy.
Yeah, but I listen. On a serious note,
Whoa,
this was
now
all.
we want to get serious?
Yeah.
I want to go back to the childhood stuff then if we're getting serious again.
Seriously, the stuff that you've been putting out, like you've gone from emotional to inspiring to funny, and quality good stuff, and I just got to tell you, kudos, brother. You keep it up. You're doing a amazing work, and the hardest work is on yourself, what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So
Yeah, I appreciate it. And you as well. With your pivots and to able to continue to doing what you love and transitioning with, like you said, the many mouths to feed, having a family, wife, and kids. You've really inspired a generation of creators like myself, and may you go from strength to strength, man, making us laugh and be entertained and to see the joy in life.
thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate you, Mendy. Where can people find connect with you or find your stuff on?
Twitter, Mendy TV, Mendy TV, Instagram, Mendy Pellin, Mendy Pellin. If you're following those, you'll probably see something that's going on.
All right.
So, and where can people find you? Right here on the Have a Great Day podcast
With Meir K.
with Mayor K.
Do you want to do the one last time the schnozzle stops here?
The schnozzle stops here because we are with Mayor K. Have a great day.
Bam. Thanks, Mendy. Oh, there it is.
There we go. The wave.
It's an eyebrow.
The eyebrow. Yeah.
Oh, you look in your camera. I'll look at my camera.
Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. For those listening, we're just moving our eyebrows at the cameras.
This is great for radio.